Hello everyone, Rich here and welcome to a new video. Today we are going to make a multi-time analysis on silver. And as usual, I'll try to make it as detailed and educational as possible. So if you guys like my trading style, let me know in the comment section below, or you can even request any instrument that would you like me to analyze next. So let's get started. For those who know me know that we always start with the weekly and daily time frames to know where we stand in the market, to identify our key rejection levels, and to know if you are overall bullish. For example, we'll be looking for trend following buy setups, and that's why we also draw our non-horizontal support and resistance in this case. And if you are overall bearish, we'll be looking for trend following sell setups, right? And of course, we also draw our non-horizontal support and resistance. And of course, if you are in a range, we'll be looking for sell setups around the upper bound of the range and buy setups on the lower bound of the range. And actually, we have these three examples here. We have a bullish trend, price is making higher highs and higher lows, very big impulse movement, small corrective, impulse movement, and small corrective. And then the momentum was shifted from bullish to bearish, and here we have a bearish trend, right? And the momentum is shifted where? As you can see, we had big impulse, small corrective, big impulse, small corrective, and here we go, very big impulse, very small corrective, but here we had an aggressive corrective movement, which means that the buyers are still in control, but they are not strong enough as they were before. And then we had this lower high. Let me delete this one. Then we had a lower high, right? Which means that the buyers aren't strong enough as they couldn't push higher, just like they were pushing before, which gives us an early alert that a potential reversal might happen. And the reversal would be confirmed after a break below the previous swing low. So as you can see, higher low, higher low, higher low. The sellers weren't strong to break below the previous swing low. That's why we see a higher low, right? Previous swing low, and here the sellers broke below the previous swing low. So we know that a potential reversal might occur, and that's exactly what happened. So we have, here we go. Let me delete this one. So we have a bullish trend, we have a bearish trend, and here we have a range, right? So now let's delete the drawings and focus on silver. And yes, here we go. So as mentioned, first of all, we start with the weekly time frame to identify our key rejection levels or zones. First, we start with the horizontal support and resistance. And as mentioned before in my previous video, how to draw here's a quick trick on how to draw a support and resistance. You simply draw a random line on your chart like this and drag and drop it in a way to connect at least 3 swings. And since we have the dots here from RichTL, we will use these dots to draw what we call objective support and resistance. As you can see, when we can connect at least 3 dots, we can know that here we have an objective support and resistance. And the reason why I call it support and resistance is because we can connect 2 swing lows, 1 and 2, and 1 swing high. So that this one is not a support only, not a resistance only, it's a support and resistance. And starting from here, if price is below it, we'll be looking for sell setups around it. Unless price breaks it upward aggressively, then our resistance will become support again, and we'll be looking for buy setups. Just like what happened here, as you can see, price broke it upward aggressively with many big bullish candles. Then our resistance is now acting as support, and we'll be looking for buy setups on C-test, just like what happened here. Here we go. So that's our first support and resistance, and let's make it a round number 21.5, and let's make it in blue. Here we go. Then we can continue from here, and we can find that we have a very strong one here as well. And of course, let's make it a round number. Let's say 18.5, right? So here we have 2 support and resistance zones levels forming like a big zone, right? So as price dive inside this one, we'll be looking for buy setups around it. Let's make it a round number again. 18.5, right? Here we go. And then we can continue from here and we can see that we can draw this one, which is a very, very strong one by connecting 1, 2, and 3. And let's make it a round number. For example, the nearest one is 14 or even 13.5. But as mentioned, as I always say, these are zones and not laser lines, so don't buy immediately if price retests it. And of course, price can still trade lower before trading higher. That's why we only look for buy setups. We zoom into lower time frames and look for possible buy setups as price approaches it. Here we go. So now we have our support and resistance, and we can't draw anything here since we don't have a typical support and resistance, since we only can connect one dot here or one swing high and one dot here. That's why in this case, as I always say, we go for the nearest round number. For example, here we can go for the 30, which is a very strong round number, and it happens to be a very strong supply area, right? Price made an aggressive movement down from it, and this support happens to be a strong demand area as price made an aggressive movement upward from it. Here we have a supply, as you can see. Here we have a supply, and here as well, here we have a supply zone. And anyway, I promised that I will make a video about supply and demand soon. Hopefully the next one would be about supply and demand, how to identify it, how to draw it, and how to, of course, how to trade it. So first of all, we have our 30K round number. Let's make it 30, and let's make it in green, for example. Next, we have our 40, right? Which is a very, very strong one. Let's keep it in green as well. And of course, we have this one, which is the 50K, which is even a stronger round number level, right? So for now, from weekly time frame, from a zoomed out, from a macro view, what I call it, a macro view, we know that price is currently, or silver in this case, is currently trading inside this floor. That's why this one is acting as resistance and we'll be looking for sell setups as price approaches it. And this one is acting as support and we'll be looking for buy setups as price approaches it. And of course, we'll be looking for sell around here unless price breaks it upward aggressively, just like what happened here. Then our resistance would become support and we'll be looking for buy setups on, of course, on its retest. Right, but for now, since price is trading below it, we'll be looking for sell setups on lower time frames. So now from weekly time frame, we know where we send the market. We can zoom into lower time frames and look for possible entries. From H4 time frame, we can see that we can draw this trend line. And as I always say, sorry about that. Here we go. I deleted it. So, and as I always say, our support and resistance, horizontal or non-horizontal, are zones on our charts and not laser lines. Here we go. Right, so this level is not exactly a laser line, and instead it's a zone. So we should treat it like a zone, for example, like this, right? But of course, we will not draw it like this on our chart since to make it cleaner. That's why we'll keep it as a level, right, as a non-horizontal level in this case, but we know that it's not a laser level, it's a zone. So we will not buy immediately if price tests it, and we will not sell immediately if price breaks it downward. Since it's a zone, price can still trade a little bit below it before going up, right? And of course, if we are going to buy, when price tests, here we go, when price tests it, yes, if we are going to buy, price can still go down, hit your stop loss before going up, right? So always treat it as a zone and not a laser line. And when you draw your trend lines, in this case on H4 for overall direction, we always try to make an offset to the other side to see if we have a channel. And yes, we do have one that makes perfect sense since it connects these two swing highs, right? And as you can see, we have a dot here and a dot here using RichTL. But anyway, we know that silver is currently trading inside this channel and we are overall bullish. And from daily and weekly time frame, we mentioned that if we are overall bullish, we'll be looking for buy setups when the corrective movement is about to end. And where we look for buy setups around the lower trend line. So here we have a trend line and we have a impulse, corrective impulse, right? We are now in a corrective phase. That's why we are looking for buy setups and we are interested in buying silver around our lower blue trend line, which is, as mentioned before, a zone, right? So let's delete these ones. We don't need it anymore. Here we go. So long story short, silver is currently sitting midway inside our two blue trend lines. So here we have a 50-50 chance price can go up to test the 30K or go down to test the blue trend line. That's why we will not trade silver for now. And as I always say, we are risk managers and not only traders. So our only job is to put the odds in our favor. And here we can't put the probability in our favor, right? So we want price to approach our lower blue trend line, because in this case, the probability that price can go up is more than price will go down, right? And of course, price can still break our lower trend line downward and test our support. In this case, we'll be looking for buy setups, right? But around this area, right, we can know that the probability that price will go up is more than the price will break it downward and continue trading lower. And of course, around this area, which is the 30K, and as mentioned from daily and weekly, it's a very strong supply area. We know that the probability that price will go down from here is more than price will break it upward. And here we go. In this case, so let me get it straight. So long story short on silver, price is currently sitting inside the channel. We are not interested in buying or selling. We'll be waiting for price to approach this area to look for buy setups, right? And if price approaches our upper 30K, which is a very strong resistance area, we'll be looking for sell setups, unless price breaks it upward, as mentioned from weekly, aggressively, then and only then our resistance will become support and we'll be looking for buy setups on its retest. But for now, since price is trading below it, right, as price approaches it, we'll be looking for sell setups. Here we go, and let's put the auto again. That's it from H4. Let me extend this one. Here we go. So let me put these purple circles. So for now, we'll be waiting for silver to approach this area to look for buy setups, right? And as price approaches this area, we'll be looking for sell setups. Here we go. And here we go. Sorry about that. So we'll be looking for buy here and we're looking for sell here, of course, unless price breaks it downward, then a movement to our lower support we'll expect, and we'll be looking for buy setups, right? And we'll be looking for sell here, unless price breaks it upward, then our resistance would become support. Here we go. Then if we have these movements, we'll be looking for buy on lower time frames around this area, and we're looking for sell on lower time frames around this area. Of course, then here we go, and then we may have this movement. In this case, we will be selling silver long term. So buy short term, sell short term. Of course, on lower time frames, we'll be looking for rules to enter, right? It depends on your trading style. You can wait, for example, for a trend line to form and then buy on to break upward. You can wait for here, for example, for a double top to form and then enter sell on neckline break downward. It depends on your trading style, and of course, we cannot know from here since price didn't approach our lower blue trend line yet. So in this case, to sell silver from a long-term perspective, we want to see it approaching our upper 30K level, because we will not sell it from here. We want to sell around resistance, and it is either from a short-term perspective like here, or from a long-term perspective. We want to sell around the resistance. We will not sell here, since price over here is sitting inside this floor, this support and this resistance, right? We're interested only in buying around here and selling around here, just like here. We're selling around here and we're only buying around here since we have a trend following setup, as mentioned, from daily time frame, right? So long story short, short-term buy, short-term sell, and we'll be speculating this movement. Then and only then, when this movement happens and the swing is formed, we'll be selling on spike downward for a long-term sell setup on silver. And of course, in this case, we'll be looking for buy setups around the lower support. So that's it for silver. Hope you like it. And if you have any more questions, feel free to post it in the comment section below. Best of luck.